You have all these insanities in the world. And because I sit here and say, yeah, perhaps. Now you've laid it out and it offended you, I understand.
I didn't say it offended me.
Okay, cool.
I just read you the things.
You read things that you said they could be offensive and some people are offended.
Well, some people definitely were offended.
Absolutely. That's fine.
And honestly, I think some of the things you said were genuinely offensive and misogynist.
Okay, so they offended you.
And actually,
like I said earlier.
Hey, bro, Andrew Tate, right? This video is brought to you by The Tate Store. The Tate Store. Get the merch link in the description section. Like and subscribe to the channel. But hold on. Ladies and gentlemen, the Let's Go Brandon whiskey glasses are now back in stock and available. And we got the coldest merch that you can imagine. This hat goes so hard. We got like 3 left because we've sold through hundreds of these hats. So you may want to get it now before it's too late. And if you miss out on it, y'all, we can restock it. It's just going to take a little bit, maybe like a week or so. But we'll restock it for you. Like and subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell so you get notifications anytime I go live and make a video. Make sure you still subscribe to this channel. Like this video. Comment on this video. Share this video. Let's get into this. But I want to stay down this vein. I kind of want to go back to what I was saying about that guy Andrew Tate and people just being honest and real. Andrew Tate went on Piers Morgan. If you don't know who Andrew Tate is, it would be entertaining for you to go and look it up, you know, and just try to figure out what I'm talking about. Because I think my generation of men may agree with him a lot more than a generation former. Because that dude Andrew Tate is very intelligent, very confident, and he has read enough books and have enough knowledge that he understands the nuance of dating, relationship, and male-female dynamic in the United States of America. There's probably nobody on the internet right now that is as profound in this category that I have seen than Andrew Tate. Now, he said some crazy stuff, right? He said some stuff that I'm like, look, I don't abide by that. I don't believe in that. I'm a Christian. I don't see women that way, and I don't go after women in that manner. But the things that he's saying and he's claiming that he has done or that he has knowledge of is reality.
Should young men, though, all aspire to be like you?
Should young men aspire to work very hard, have no criminal record, become multimillionaires, protect and provide for the women close to them, be sovereign so they can stand up and have their own points of view in face of cancellation, be able to not be mentally intimidated when they go on national TV and there's traps set up for them? Yeah, I believe that confident, strong men who stand up and protect and provide for women are a good thing for the world and a good force for the world. And I don't think that I put a magic spell on anybody. I think there's a whole bunch of men in the world who understands my value. And if men grow up to be like me, you're gonna have a whole bunch of people with no criminal record, dedicated athletes, who protect and provide for the people close to them, are fantastic for the economy. And I'm certainly not the worst influence out here, Piers. You have Lil Nas twerking on the devil on music videos, which our children are digesting. You have drill artists singing about stabbing people to death in the middle of a knife crime epidemic. You have rabid psychopaths on whether the right or the left announcing violence on the other side. You have all these insanities in the world. And because I sit here and say, yeah, perhaps. Now you've laid it out and it offended you, I understand.
I didn't say it offended me.
Okay, cool.
I just read you the things.
You read things that you said they could be offensive and some people are offended.
Well, some people definitely were offended.
Absolutely. That's fine.
And honestly, I think some of the things you said were genuinely offensive and misogynist.
Okay, so they offended you.
And
like I said earlier. So they offended you, which is fine. I said they offended you, you interrupted me, and now you're saying they offended you, which is fine. But the point I'm trying to make is this. I'm not the devil. There's certainly worse people than me, and they exist. And I'm saying that my core tenets for the people who don't understand me are self-accountability, so I'm accountable for everything I've ever said. My core tenets are responsibility, so I'm responsible for everything I've said. My core tenets are traditional masculinity to a degree, which involves protecting and providing for women.
I was talking about this subject, you know, the whole Andrew Tate thing. I was talking about this subject with a few of my wife's friends who are 2 single women. And I would argue, I have no idea why they're single. It must be a shortage of good men out there for those 2 women to be single. They know how to cook, beautiful, balanced temperament. I mean, maybe years ago they weren't, but now they are. And we were having this conversation about being single and relationships and a huge disconnect between men and women. It's a complete disconnect. Like, men think women want something and women think men want something, and neither one of them are on the same page. They're not on the same page. I see women on social media, they post these they call them thirst traps. They showing boobs, they showing butt, they doing these angles, they putting fake faces on. I mean, they got filters and they don't even look like that in person. And I think a lot of women in their mind, they say, if I'm beautiful and I present myself this way, I'm going to get attention. But you're not going to get attention from a guy who want to marry you. You're going to get attention from a guy who want to do one night or maybe like a friends with benefit. You're not gonna get the guy who are looking for marriage and is looking to be committed to a woman. Because you have to think of this. A stable man that's prepared to be married is looking at his future. How do you assist in building his future to be better? How are you a part of his legacy moving forward? And children are a part of that too. You know, if you are promoting yourself and you're putting yourself out there like you're a woman that nobody wants to have children with because you become a liability, you're not reading the room. And I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying women are not reading the room. Just like men. A man who cannot provide security, trust, and a man that a woman can feel like he has a future, that he has ambition. If you are not a man that projects that, you're not going to get the woman that you think you want. And men don't understand that. They think, well, if I have a lot of money, I'm good. Well, yeah, you'll get the stragglers, but you're not going to get a woman that you want to be married to that's going to be reliable, that's going to be faithful, that you don't have to worry about running out with your money. You know, if all you can offer is money, or if all you can offer is looks, if all you can offer is a 9 to 5 with no ambition, and your standards are really high, meaning that you want the supermodel, you got to understand you're missing it. And I would argue the same thing about women. You know, this guy named Kevin Samuel had this. I mean, I hate that he passed away, man. This dude was like the GOAT when it came to like relationship, I guess, exposure to truth. These young women would come on his show and he would say, "What's your type? Does a height matter?" And 99% of the women were like, "Yes, height matters." They want a man 6 feet or above. And he go, "Well, how much do you want that man to make?" Most women were like, he need to make at least 6 figures. And Kevin Samuel was able to say, how many men in America are 6 feet and make 6 figures? That's 6 feet tall and make 6 figures. You're talking about a small group of men, because how many men in America make 6 figures to start with? You crunch your pool down to a select few men. And when I say select few, maybe a million or so. I mean, I don't even know how many. I doubt it's a million men that make 6 figures. I think if you're making $300,000 or $400,000 a year, you're a top 1% earner. But anyway, then how many men are over 6 foot? The average male is like 5'11" to 6 foot tall. You want a man over 6 foot, the average male is not that. So then you make your group a lot smaller. So you want him to have money. You want him to look good and be tall. You're talking a small fraction of men, and every woman want that man. So you got 2,500 men, and you got 10 million women that want that 2,500 men. And he would always expose them, and they would have nothing to say. He'd go, okay, now that I told you what your likelihood is, what do you offer? What do you bring to the table? And they go, well, I'm fine. I got a good job, and I do this. And he tells them all the time. He said, men don't care about what money you making. Do you have a good attitude? Are you past your phase of wanting to go out and party every single night? Like, what are the things that you are bringing to the table of what you would consider to be a high value man? And I would argue that 85 to 90% of women fail every time they go on his show, because they have no idea what men actually want. And I just brought that up because it's a phenomenon that's going on today that's really affecting people of my generation. People of my generation aren't getting married. They're not getting married. You know, they're not in stable relationships like our grandfathers and grandmothers used to be. I mean, my grandmother had like 11 kids. I mean, no, she had 7 kids. Before that, they had 11 of them. And they were married hell or high water. I mean, I don't want to put my family business out there, but I heard stories of how my great-great-grandfather was an abusive man. My grandmother had welts all over her arm because he stabbed her or something like that when they were younger. And she never left. You know, I'm not saying it's a good thing, but I'm saying that people back then they were loyal. And nowadays, a person is good to you and you can't even be loyal. They're not even beating you or nothing. You know, they have a bad day at work and you want to divorce them. But I really do honestly believe, I wish that there could be like a master class for young people in my generation. Y'all, the people that's outside my generation, y'all got it all figured out. Our generation, we don't have it figured out. We do not have it figured out. And like I was saying, the young women that were at my house yesterday, you know, obviously me and my wife got married, but they are a trio of friends and the two other women are not married. And it's like, I remember telling them, I can't think of a person that's your type, that's your age, your type, whatever going on, that I would trust. I could be missing people that I would trust or think that it'd be a good match. And so all the single guys out there that I know, don't take it personal. I may not have thought of you when I was having this conversation. But like I thought about it, and I said, dang, that's crazy. I don't have a plethora of men that I know that I would think would be qualified. I don't have a plethora of them. And that's sad. We should have, in our country today, we should have a wealth of men who are smart, who are ambitious, who know how to treat a lady, and who not just thinking about one thing. I wish we had a wealth of men like that. There is not. Because I wasn't even a man like that when I was younger. Now, as you know, when you get in your 30s, you start waking up. You know, I had already had a kid. You start waking up and you start realizing that, hey, man, like there's more to life than just trying to date as many women as you can or dating the women you think are fine. It's more to life than that, you know. And these young men, and I know I'm hard on women sometimes because I think women are absolutely outrageous these days, but young men do not know how to. It's like this incel culture that's coming up, like these men that are betas. They don't know how to treat a woman. Let me just say this for all the brothers that are watching this. If you take a woman on a date and you have to consider whether or not you paying or she paying, you are not ready to date. You take a woman on a date, you pay. No questions asked. I don't care what you do. You take a woman on a date, you pay. I don't care if it was her idea. If you ain't got the money, then don't take her up on her offer. You open a door for women. You open a car door. You open a bit. I still open the door for my wife. Except if we valet somewhere and the valet open the door. But like, I tell my wife, hey, watch out, babe. Let me get the door. Let me get the door for you. I open the door to my wife. I let my wife sit down first. I pull the chair out for her and all that other stuff. And I'm married. I ain't got to try to win nothing. I'm married and I still do that with my wife because that's how men are supposed to act. We got so many beta males out here. They do not know how to treat a woman. They don't, because other men aren't raising them to be that way. Because you think, oh, if I'll open a door, you know, she's just using me for money. If you think that's the woman, then don't take her on a date. If you take a woman out, you treat her with respect. You roll out the red carpet. And if it's not a woman to roll the red carpet out with her, don't take her on a date. I hear these fake gurus online. They go, oh man, a woman have to prove her worth. You know, she have to do that. Nah, shut up. Shut the front door. You should be doing that evaluation before you ever take her on a date. Is she a possible match for you based on what you know, based on communication that you've had or a referral, meaning a friend had referred her? If that person is for you, then you take her on a date. You take her somewhere nice. Here's another concept, and I have to say this in 1 minute, and then I'll get some callers who are calling in. This is another concept. When I was younger, I used to really think very low of women who only wanted to date men who had a lot of money and who were very successful. I used to really have a negative perception of women like that. And now, as being a grown man and being exposed to different things, if I was a woman, I would go after men who had a lot of money and great success and wealth and can create a legacy for me and my family. I'm just saying, y'all gonna be mad at me for saying that, but I'm just keeping it 100. Nothing against people working 9 to 5, but I want to fly on private jets and do all kind of stuff and not have to work if I was a woman. Hold the phone. I'll be back at the break.